Hello, welcome to Boardgame Basecoats, and today we're playing through Chaos Apocalypse, Mission 1, Rescue. Now this is the first of a series of missions that you can play through, and in this one I have to get to this top floor and lay down a star die. We'll talk about that more as we go. Now that top floor and the second floor are both set by this scenario, and both are on fire, so if you're hanging out there you will get damaged. The bottom floor of the 4 tiles was randomly chosen, and each of those does have a special ability that can be activated and hopefully will help us out. I am playing with one character and we'll start with it right here, and there's our spawn point. So let's go ahead and get started. Stranded on the foreign world of Kash, you have but one simple goal: get off the planet. Now this is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. You can see I'm just playing with the one green character. I chose it because it's the robot. I like playing the robots. I've gone ahead and put the enemy deck right there on there for now. Now as you can see here, the game does have multiple levels, so that's one of the draws for me. Alright, so let's jump right in. First of all, the arrival of new enemies. First we have this Stout. It has 7 life. It can attack, move, and then attack. You can see that card right there. Again, the Stout. Just so you guys can check it out just a little bit better. First off here, or second off here, we're going to go ahead and roll the die. Now, the game is very much luck driven. You get one shot at this die. So here I have special ability, which is healing, 1 shield, 1 ranged, 1 melee attack, and then my choice of modifying my speed, which is already the fastest, or moving, and I choose to move. Alright, so I get 1 movement. Alright, so basically I had 1 of each. So now it's the global offensive, and this is resolved in initiative order, and pretty much all I can do at this point is move, because I didn't move to engage the Stout here. Now it's his turn, so he has an initiative 2. You can see that with the 2 lightning bolts on top. So he did get to attack. There was no one in range, so now he moved, and now he gets to attack again. So you see a fist and a gun. So if someone is in the adjacent area, he attacks them, and then he'll attack whoever's at a distance. So we're now spawning another enemy. So in this case, a little bit bigger. This is one of the bosses. So Stinger, 10 life points. Alright. And I'll go ahead and re-roll my dice. And so the game does move pretty quickly. So here's 3 special effects, so I can heal up to 2 life. Oops, there. Let's make sure So I've decided not to do that. I've decided to activate the room because it'll give me 3 shields. So this specific room will give me 1 shield per die. And just to keep it simple, I do put it on there. Now, right here I'm putting the life tokens on the cards. You really have to do this. So 10 I believe, for this boss character, and then for the Stout there, 7. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there as well. Alright, so now the enemies will activate. So again, he'll attack, he'll move, and then he'll attack again. Alright, so he attacks. There's no one in that room, so he's going to go ahead and move. And now there's no one in the room, so instead he'll attack the pillars. And of course there's a ranged attack that attacks me, but I block it all. Stinger's turn. The first attack attacks everything on the 2nd or 3rd floors. There's no one there, so that one misses as well. And then he's going to move. So he's got plenty of arrows there, so 1, 2, 3 spaces. Okay? And I do appreciate how clear those arrows are. So it's either left or right, but now he does get to attack a 5 points melee attack. And once again, I do have 3 shields from the room. I do have 1 shield on my character, but that 1 point of damage I cannot stop. So at the end of round effects, which I kind of skipped, there's pretty much nothing going on except for the damage there to my character. So we get to move on. Now, if you notice here, I did not spawn another enemy, so this was an error. In the end, it doesn't matter, but please keep that in mind. I was supposed to spawn an enemy here before I rolled. Now those stars are very important because I need to place one of those stars on the top floor. but you can take any 2 die to make it become anything. So here you're about to see I made an error. I could have won the game, but not. There is a kind of timing issue which we'll talk about here. So I'm going to move, so 1 space, 2 space, and 3 spaces. Technically I could have just moved it with 2 spaces. I did not need to move to the area under it. Anyway, the enemies are taking their turn now and attacking. So again, he will do an attack of the 2nd or 3rd floor, which he does hit me. So I'm going to go ahead and take that damage immediately. It's not an end of round effect. It does happen at this point in time. He will get to move 3 spaces, alright, in that direction. So 1, 2, 3. Now he's next to that other card. And now he'll attack again. So melee attack and range. So no one in range, because technically I'm adjacent to him. But that a melee attack will hit the room. And so right now I'm kind of sticking it on the pillars. You don't really got to do that. So actually, we'll go ahead and resolve this guy. So he's going to attack, move, and attack. So he will hit the room as well. So if you've been keeping track, so this room is actually taking quite a bit of damage. So this damage again once he moves around. But the room already took damage. So it has actually taken 4 points of damage, which technically knocks out the pillars. And the rulebook says, if you knock out the pillars, it destroys everything. So, yeah. Oops, there. Give me just a second here. Yeah, just checking. Yep. There it is. Yeah, so that damage. And there it is, that 4th point. Actually, I think it's the 5th, technically. That the room is receiving. So yeah, all the pillars are broken, and that means the room falls, which means this scenario is lost because it's technically destroyed. Well, that was quick. Engine room destroyed, so game over. Let's try again. Alright, so I've reset the game, and this time we're going to play with all 4 characters. The red character has an initiative of 3. The purple and blue have initiatives of 2, and I'm once again going to play with the robot, of course, with an initiative of 1. Alright, so the game comes with standees and dice, and the columns, of course, to hold up the room. So it was the dice, actually, the etched dice, as well as the standing rooms that encouraged me to buy the game. Now see here, I've gone ahead and separated the enemy life tokens, so that is a little bit easier to grab this time. And once again, the scenario has set the 2nd and 3rd floors of the scenario, but I've completely chosen random tiles for the bottom there. Alrighty, so we are all set, and as before, the 2nd and 3rd floors are on fire, so hopefully we'll see that in action. Stranded on the foreign world of Kosh, you have but one simple goal: get off the planet. So now with 4 characters, let's see if this makes a difference for us. Alright, now in some of the scenarios, if you play more characters, you have more spawn points, and actually I was kind of unsure if this scenario would have more spawn points, but I just kept the 1 because it's kind of not clear. I think I'm supposed to have another spawn point per character, but I'm just not sure. Alright, so I did leave it with just the 1 spawn point, so we'll see how it goes. Now, let's go ahead and spread the board out just a little bit here. Now I did set it up for 4 players, even though I'm playing with all 4, and just so you can see how it will look, maybe on your tabletop here. And the black trays, of course, are not included in the game. Got that from the dollar store, along with my cases. Alright, so you do need some room around the board, because those cards will be placed there and moving around, okay? And so I don't make an error, I'm going to leave this token off the board. I do not recommend sticking it on there because you may forget spawning. These, of course, are the fire tokens. If any characters are there, they will take damage. And now, because I am playing with more characters, please keep in mind no more than 2 characters can be at any one location. First off, we're going to have enemies arrive. It has an initiative of 2, life of 7. It will attack, move, and attack. Alright, and there it is. Great. We'll go ahead and put our life token on it. It does have 7 life. Alright, and first off, with an initiative of 1 is the green one, normally. So we'll go ahead and roll up his die. And as before, you get 1 roll. But now because you have more characters, you have a little bit of mitigation, okay? You can have no more than 2 dice of different colors on 1 character. So you will see that here in a bit. Here as before, I have a choice between initiative and movement. I choose movement. I have my special ability there at the bottom. 2 ranged attacks for 2 damage. And then 1 star, alright, which I do need to complete the mission. We'll see how I deal with that. Here's the purple character. Their special ability is to move enemy characters. So we have a melee, we have a choice of movement or initiative. We choose movement. We have our ranged attack, another ranged attack for 3 damage, and then a star. Okay, you do need the stars to activate the special abilities, or for the scenario rather. Alright, our blue character has those red round circle tokens. So here we see him putting 2 of them there, so he does get 1 of them. And with those he can shut down enemies. So he has a shield. He's basically our tank character. Now this red guy, his special ability is basically to damage enemies. So he's got it kind of like grenades or something. So he rolled 3 of those, so he gets to do 3. Alright. And he rolled a star as well. And should we go for movement? Now he's the slowest character, so we chose movement or initiative for him rather. Alright, so here's what we've done. So we've doubled up that so we can improve melee, and we have decided to affect initiative so she can go a bit faster. Here we've doubled up here, and look, you can see you can double up anything so that we can get the full effect here. And then here's the fellow that definitely changed the most. So we want him to move so we can get those stars up onto the top of that 3rd floor. Alright, so here's the placement of our characters. Our tank, and then our shifting girl are there outside there. And then we have our robot, and then Grenader guy chilling underneath that tower. Alright, so hopefully this will work out for us. Great. So, next up, gonna have to place our tokens here. So let's shut down this enemy. And sorry for the glare there. Let's go take a closer look. Alright, so this Spindly, we have an attack, a move, and attack. Alright, so we're gonna shut down his attacks. Alright. So as you can see, the cards will accumulate tokens pretty quickly. Now, these life tokens are double-sided. The red side is the life, and once you have a lot of enemies on there, and you flip it to the other side to indicate that the enemy's been used. So here we're going to do our melee attack, or our ranged attack rather. Can't heal right now. So he's going to go ahead and do a ranged attack against that enemy. So it goes from 7 down to 5. Let me just mention that the 7 token and the number 1 token are very similar, so I don't think they used a very good font there, just by the way. Anyway, melee attack here. He has a 2 because that's the number you can see visible there, so he has a 2 there. I'm sorry, she has a 2, so melee attack to the adjacent character. So from 5 down to 3. Alright, great. Next up is the blue guy. So he has 2 initiative as well, so we've already used that ability. Now the shield, he'll have a double. He'll block up to 2 points of damage for everybody there. Okay. Now, if let's say that purple character had a shield, then you'd add up all the shields. So they kind of add up. So anyway, our Spindly here can only move. So it's going to move 1 spot. It couldn't have attacked anyway. Alright, and there it is. Oops. Keep that token on. Alrighty. Technically I should have flipped it over, but that's okay. Alright, so this character, we want this one moving. Alright, so he gets up to 2 movement and has 3 stars to get where they need to go. Alright, so that booming ability I actually forget to use. Not that it matters very much. So moving 2 spaces, 1 and 2. So we are where we need to be. And now we're gonna use these stars, and right off the bat, there you go. So you need to put 1 star for every character in play. So we already have 3. We just need 1 more. He is up there though with the room that's on fire, so he will be taking 1 point of damage, so as part of that ending round effect. And there we go. We are now to round 2, the arrival of new enemies. So we have a Spindly, 2 initiative, 6 life, attack, move, and an attack. I do like that the symbology of the game is pretty clear. There's no ambiguity there. It really is just in the rulebook, so as I say, I'm really kind of unsure if I should have more spawn points. The scenario only has the 1, but the rulebook says the more characters you play, the more you should have, so not really sure. If you notice, so our character here has 4 die now instead of 5, and that's because it was the star and it's now locked in. So although we're getting close to fulfilling the objective, we now have less resources. So right now he's got 1 die for each of those again. Seems to be the way it goes for this character. And if you look, all the boards really are different. So some of them are melee specialists, some of them are range specialists, so you really do get a good feel. But you really do want to play with all of them. If you were playing with 2 people, give 2 characters. I mean, just the fact that you want to share cards is really important, or share die rather, is such an important aspect of the game. So I do not recommend playing with just 1 character or anything less than all 4. That ability to share is just too powerful. And there it is, our 4th star to complete it. So we should be finishing the game this round. And so you might be thinking, wow, this game is pretty quick. And yeah, it is. It's a quick setup, a quick takedown, and you really can blast through these scenarios very quickly. It has a very puzzly feel that I like. And as you see here, he's chosen plenty of shields. So, but here's our key guy. He's up on the 3rd floor. He's down 1 die as well. So he needs to get that other die. So he's pulled a bunch of range and 1 special ability here. Alright, he has lost 1 life, and he is definitely going 3rd. Alright, so we've gone ahead and moved the dice where we want him to go. Our robot here has 2 shields. Our purple lady here has the ability to move a card and shoot. We've tanked him up. We've activated his ability to shut down again. It's too useful not to, and then he's got a melee of 1. And we've moved the star up there. We've adjusted his initiative, so he'll move faster. We want to get it done. And then he still has a ranged attack. Alright, there we are. So I think we are ready to end this. Alright, so global offensive. So first, everyone that has an initiative of 1 can go. So our robot here can't really do much. So he has no ranged attacks or anything, so he's done. So our purple here has a ranged attack. Now here, if you look at these 2, that one that's covered by the die now can only be worked against an adjacent enemy. But we specifically wanted her to get an enemy that wasn't adjacent to her. So she moved this character, and now she can use her ranged attack to kill this character. Alright. So what happens when you kill the enemy? So you flip them over and you see what gear you get. So here, an electric charge. Okay. And okay, so flip 1 die to its opposing face. Alright, great. And some of the cards are 1 use, and in this case, it's an ability that we can just continue to use, so that's kind of nice. Alright, so we're going to move on to our blue. He's at an initiative of 2. So melee. Alright. And special ability, of course. Okay. And the shields will just remain there. Now what I like to do is stick the dice, on the board next to the characters just so I don't lose track, especially since I'm playing all the characters by myself. So he's going to do a little bit of damage there. So from 6 down to 5. He's got his 2 tokens to lock it down. So he's going to go ahead and do that as well. So our Spindly here is going to lose both of its attacks. It's a nice strategy and one of my favorites. Alright. Alright, there we are. Great. And now, since we are in the initiative 2, the Spindly will activate. So it couldn't attack, but it does move. It can't attack, so it's done. Great. And now, technically, this guy should have gone earlier. So he had an initiative of 1. I'm just doing it now. Oops, out of order. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Because we have placed this 4th die, and that ends the game. So I'm not sure if we win at the end of the round or immediately. So that's another thing that's not quite clear, but it doesn't really matter because the heroes win. Alright. After repairing the communication systems, you receive a distress signal from a nearby science ship. Your crew, harrowed by the attack they just survived, takes a moment to tend to their wounds before responding. And that wraps up this one. So, because this is part of a campaign, you now have the opportunity to do some healing. So in this way, the game kind of feels like a role-playing game. So I do like that nod. Now, the missions that follow this one are quite different. So essentially, each one is a different kind of puzzle. They really are. So if you do like puzzle games, I do recommend this one. It's far more forgiving than games like Ghost Stories, which I also own. So I do like it. So I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you appreciated the difference between the two games. Thank you very much. Bye now.